This is the Josh Innes Show.
Howdy, and welcome in to the Josh Innes Show. That's me. I'm Josh, of course. Jilly is not here today because Luther doesn't feel particularly well. We think he's got some sort of injury. So she's just staying downstairs with old Luther today. So we didn't feel like having Luther come upstairs today, and Jilly's just going to hang out with Luther downstairs. He has some sort of issue. I don't know if he's maybe he twisted his knee or something, twisted his elbow the other day. We don't know, but he woke up yesterday, or actually in the middle of the day yesterday, just started being kind of lazy and lethargic. But I mean, he eats and everything, so we're not overly concerned that there's something terribly wrong with him. But maybe he's just getting older. Maybe he's jumped off the bed wrong. Who knows? But Jilly and Luther will not be partaking in Just Nation tonight. So it's just us. It's just us girls tonight. So make sure you guys are here and ready to go. Before we get into anything, though, speaking of Luther, Dr. Busby, those toe grips, of course, from ToeGrips.com. But not only that, they've got the Encore Mobility, and up until like the last day when Luther, for whatever reason, has been kind of banged up, I can tell you that Dr. Busby's Encore Mobility has been a huge help for little Luther. Let me tell you, man, he has really been a different dog since he has started taking the Encore Mobility. It is the best supplement for joint pain in dogs, and it's great. It promotes hip and joint flexibility, restores mobility and comfort, renews vigor and vitality. And patients of Dr. Busby's have gotten such great results. She's gone through the rigorous process of getting certified with the FDA and USDA to import the formula from New Zealand. So we do appreciate Dr. Busby for that. Says give him a double dose. I might have to double up Luther's dosage on that. You're not wrong. But Dr. Busby does such a fantastic job with ToeGrips.com. Of course, they also have the toe grips, which you see in the picture here. But also, and of course, well, just to be on the toe grips, they help your dogs who struggle to walk on hardwood floors due to age, arthritis, injury, surgery, or disability. But if you go to the website right now, ToeGrips.com, you've got a 10% discount if you use the promo code Luther. 10% off of your purchase if you use the promo code Luther. And of course, there's always the 30-day money-back guarantee, and they have a stellar, compassionate customer service. They're wonderful at what they do. We love them at Dr. Busby. She's so wonderful. I need to check in with Dr. Busby, see how she's been lately, but Mr. Dr. Busby checks in pretty frequently as well. They are great. We appreciate them. We love them, and your dogs will appreciate them as well. 10% off site-wide if you mention the promo code Luther, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what do you have to lose? The answer is nothing. 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's our friends over at Dr. Busby's Toe Grips. ToeGrips.com. It's ToeGrips.com. Check them out. They're awesome. I love them. I love them too, Dad. They've made me feel so much better. Oh, thank you, Luther. It is ToeGrips.com. So, of course, Jilly is going to be downstairs with Luther today. So it's just us tonight having a conversation. I do apologize that I didn't set up another screen that was just me. But you do get this. You get me and an empty chair. Just imagine that it's you. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, just imagine that this is you sitting in that chair. And all your wildest dreams are coming true. So please, just imagine that's you. And now we rock. So what's on everybody's mind tonight? If you have any questions or anything, you can get them to me here, and we can talk, and I'll answer your questions. But, well, here's a question. Did you see what Sammy Hagar said? That he'd rather get sick and die than not perform. I did, and you know why? Because he is a performer, my friend. Sammy Hagar cares about the audience, and he is a performer, and he is legendary, and that's why he's my favorite. I'm getting a casting couch vibe. Well, this can be you on this casting couch if you're watching this live on Twitch right now. This could be you in this chair. Imagine this is you on that couch as Just Nation gets rolling tonight. But I did see what Sammy said, And I don't know how serious he was. I mean, obviously, I don't know if it was hyperbole or what, but I did see that. I've gotten home from work early every day this week, anxiously awaiting for my Just Nation shirt. Well, Deranged, too. Hopefully you get your Just Nation shirt. I see a lot of people have been getting their shirts, so just be cool. Your shirts will get there, and if they're not here, in the next 3-4 days, whatever, then contact me, and we'll check in with all of our guys. What's your opinion of the new extra innings runner on second rule? I like it. I think if you're going to try things, this would be the time to try it, right? You got a wacky season. No one's going to take the champion of baseball that seriously this year anyway in a 60-game season. The only group of people that will even really recognize the champion of this baseball season is the fan base of the team that wins it. Everybody else will say it was a fraudulent championship anyhow. So try a bunch of different stuff. They should be trying a whole lot of stuff. Let's see here. How much to see the Truffle Shuffle? Well, I don't know that I feel like doing the Truffle Shuffle today, kiddos. Sammy blows, says Frank's Pizza 00. So are we talking about Hagar blows? You blow. The Red Rocker will never die. He will be singing I Can't Drive 55 until after we're gone. I agree with that. If anyone is immune to disease, it's the rock stars of the 70s and 80s and Lenny Dykstra. I think we've discovered that I don't think Nails can get anything because he's probably already had everything. The Rona is scared shitless of the things that Lenny Dykstra has or has had. I think there's enough in Lenny Dykstra that you could honestly say that Nails, like the Rona could come knocking on the door and be like, hello, Nails, it's me, the Rona. And Nails, like the Rona will try to sneak in through his eyeballs or his mouth or his nose and will breathe in whatever the hell is in Nails and will slowly die. And that will kill the Rona. Josh, change the camera. Looks like a casting couch. Well, Sean, here's the thing. I told you I have not changed the camera. You know what? Again, this is what you got here. I don't have another setup with the solo camera. I apologize, but I don't. If this is what you want, you can have this. How about this? You want this crappy angle here? There you go. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. It's this awful angle, and there you go. It looks like crap, but if that's what you prefer, if this is what you want, then there you go. Let me expand the chat there for you guys, and then everybody can be happy now. There you go. Who's happy now? Is everybody happy now? Yippee-ki-yay. All right, let's see here. Would you rather take your chance with Rona or OJ? I'd probably lean towards OJ. Let's see. How do you feel about a magic at bat rule? Once per game, the manager can have any player in the lineup come up to bat, and the opposing pitcher can't intentionally walk the batter. You know what? I'm all about that life. You want to give me that life? I will live that life, and I will take that life gladly. You want to have the opportunity to get your best players at the plate, right? And if you can get your best players at the plate that way, then you know what? Then do it that way. I am all about it. I want nothing more than to have the best player at the plate at the right time in the game. And obviously the right time in the game would be the time in the game that where the most drama could occur and you could do the most damage. Let's see here. Did you see Bubba on Dan Patrick today? His acting was pretty good. I'm basically over this Bubba story now. I understand that it's still going, but it's one of those things that you're never going to win. You're never going to win this argument because all these people have now moved the goalpost. At first it was, oh, it's a hate crime. Oh, my God, it's a hate crime. White people are terrible. Then when we find out it's not a hate crime, and in fact, it's either a grand misunderstanding or somebody was deceptive on purpose, it was a deception, it becomes, yeah, well, nooses are still offensive, and that ain't right. Like, I love that Bubba has the balls to go on Don Lemon last night, the balls on this guy to go out there and say, well, yeah, it's from 2019, but what's a noose doing in here anyway? When you knew that it wasn't offensive, and you knew it wasn't a noose, you knew it was a door handle or a garage door pull down, and you're still doing that, and you're still playing that angle. That's where I lost respect for the guy. I didn't lose respect for the media because the media is a clown show anyway, and they wanted this to be a hate crime, and they were so disappointed when it wasn't a hate crime. We know this, and now, of course, people are questioning the FBI, saying, are we sure on this? Are we sure that this was the FBI? I mean, do we really just trust the FBI? Yeah, on this one I do. I do because there's video of 2019 with this noose, quote unquote, hanging in this garage. And they say, well, it's still a noose. Who ties things that way? That's offensive. A noose on its own is not offensive. A banana on its own is not offensive. Like the use of something is, the context and the use of something changes everything, right? Like let's look at a banana, right? A banana is not offensive on its own. But if you take a banana and you leave it on the porch of the black family that moves into the neighborhood, all of a sudden a piece of fruit becomes a hate crime. And I'm okay with that because it's weaponized to a degree at that point. You know what it means. It's hateful. You're saying you're talking about the family that moved into the neighborhood and you're using symbolism and hateful symbols. You've turned a banana into a hate symbol. And I'm totally okay. I understand that. But a noose, quote unquote, a noose hanging up in a garage on a door with no deliberate, there's no deliberate leaving it there. It wasn't left there on purpose. It was there for 8 months, 9 months, whatever it is, and it had nothing to do with a black man in a garage. It is not offensive. And just because your namby-pamby feelings were hurt, and I know they're trying to play it's an overly sensitive time. No, you're looking to be offended. If you look at that and you go, I'm offended by this, you are looking too hard to be offended. And my question I also have is this. The problem I'm running into with Bubba Wallace and his crew of people here is assuming this rope was hanging from the garage door and it is the pull down. One, Bubba has said that he had never seen this. Two, did somebody cut this rope down and bring it to somebody? Because really that's a piece of evidence. You would think if you're trying to show people that there was a hate crime and there's a noose left for you, wouldn't you choose to leave it there so people can see it? Like who would just grab, like where did it go? Who cut it down? Like if that's potentially a piece of evidence in a hate crime, who's cutting this shit down? There's a lot of this stuff that doesn't make any sense about the story. And then NASCAR just runs off and releases a statement for no reason before the investigation's done. Supposedly Al Jolson on his own isn't offensive, but they will use it against you. That's true, Mikey, $2. That is 100% true. It's racial because it wasn't racist, but it's still racist. There's nothing racist. Like, there's nothing racist about that. None of it is. Again, you find certain symbols that like if go to the banana argument. If you've got a black family that moves into a predominantly white neighborhood and they come outside and on their doorstep is a basket full of bananas, then obviously something that's not offensive, a banana, has become offensive. There's no way that you could look at this and go, yep, that was offensive. And especially after they've determined it's not offensive, to still sit there and try to sell it as it's offensive is out of control. Forget about hangings in the Old West like the OK sign. It's been made racist. That's the other one. I truly don't understand that. The OK sign thing, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I have no idea how that became a thing. But all you have to do is tell the internet that something's offensive and it becomes offensive, and it's bizarre. Apparently, Jay Cutler was on Instagram and he's hunting a chicken. He's hunting a chicken. What? Jay Cutler is on the gram? Boy, if Jay Cutler's on the gram, that means that life has meaning again. And we will get to that. But here's the thing about Bubba Wallace. If you're annoyed by the Bubba Wallace story, Bubba Wallace about 2-3 weeks ago was known by next to nobody. Black folks didn't know who he was. Some NASCAR fans probably knew who he was. He's probably what you would call a marginal, middle of the pack NASCAR racer. He steps up and says they should ban the Confederate flag. Okay, whatever. They do it. I'm fine with that. Be heroic. You're having your moment. You're having your 15 minutes. Then what happened in all of this is I can see where this becomes addicting, okay? But there's kind of an addiction with fame. And Twitter and social media can give you instant fame and instant power. Now you've become like the face of NASCAR and the face of this movement, and people who didn't know who you are now do. And you're on The View and you're on Don Lemon. None of these people gave a damn who you were. Football players are supporting you and buying your merch. You're now like a hero, right? So I can see where it becomes addicting, right? I feel like in this situation, what you got out of Bubba Wallace was, I mean, from what we were told, he didn't even see the news, right? So if they would have left it hanging there, maybe Bubba Wallace would have seen it and gone, dude, that's just a door handle. But you can't do that if you're Bubba Wallace, because now you have an obligation to being outraged, right? You have an obligation to being outraged because now you're more important than you used to be. You're the face of a movement. So if you're the face of a movement, what do you have to do? Well, you have to join everybody else who finds everything offensive. So then you have to step up. And even when when the FBI told you it wasn't meant to be a hate crime, they confirmed that it had been up there since 2019. Like, you have some pretty big balls on you to go on television and keep perpetuating this idea that this was offensive. Why do you have to do it? Because you're now the face of a movement. And the second you stop selling this angle as racist, nobody cares about you anymore. The media is now, after today, the media is done caring about Bubba Wallace. Do you think CNN gives a damn about a dude that races in NASCAR? You know who watches NASCAR, in the minds of CNN type people? It's watched by a bunch of rednecks and hillbillies that they don't give a shit about. So now that the hate crime part of it's over, now that NASCAR's eliminated the Confederate flag, there's nothing they can sit around and complain about anymore with it. The media's done with NASCAR, thus the media's going to be done with Bubba Wallace. In a week or two, no one's going to remember who he is. No one's going to care about who Bubba Wallace is. His moment is past. His time is over. So that's why I guess he was hanging on to it as long as he could. I know that he eventually came out and said, oh boy, we look stupid. It was a big mistake. Well, perhaps if he would have said that last night instead of running to Don Lemon and still playing the angle of nooses are offensive. Like, think about that impressive goalpost movement you got from Bubba Wallace. It goes from victim of hate crime, which, by the way, a victim of a hate crime who never saw the symbol that was allegedly used in the hate crime, never saw it. And it goes from victim of hate crime to, you know what, nooses are offensive. And, of course, now no one's interested in the story, and the story will fade, and Bubba Wallace will fade, and his moment is gone, and people will go on not caring about NASCAR. Let's see here. It's easier for Bubba to get attention this way, drive his car good. Well, I from what I see, not that great of a NASCAR driver. Let's see. I give Wallace another 5 years in the sport. I don't know how long. I'm not going to watch that shit. I don't give a shit about NASCAR. I'd go get drunk at one NASCAR race to say I did it, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh boy, can't wait to go watch some NASCAR. Couldn't give two shits about NASCAR before this or after this. Is there a bigger racist than Don Lemon? There's plenty of racists out there on all sides of things. Don Lemon's just not a very talented racist. He's just very marginal. And he's basically famous for getting hammered on New Year's Eve. That's like what basically CNN's whole year is made by Don Lemon getting blasted on New Year's Eve with he and what's his name? Anderson Cooper and the other gay dude. What's his name? Who's actually Andy Cohen, who I actually like. The person who put the noose in there is the same guy who vandalized LeBron's house. That's one of the things, that's one of the angles people have gone with. And then that's the part that bothers me, is people will question you about this. And why are you so mad that it wasn't racist? I'm not mad that it wasn't racist. I'm actually happy that it wasn't racist, because that shows you that maybe we're a lot closer to things being okay than the media would lead you to believe. It's the media that's not happy about it not being racist. The media wants this to be racist. The media wants this to be divisive. The media is obsessed with that. The media needs that. But now that doesn't happen, that's why the media is going to conveniently forget this story. The media is going to just, move on to something else. They're going to stick and move. And now this story's dull because, well, the FBI just said it's not racist, and we tried to move the goalpost and still make it racist, but no one's buying this shit, and we all look stupid. So let's go find another hate crime. There are plenty of hate crimes, quote unquote hate crimes, that happen in the country every year that we have looked at and are confirmed to be fake. You hear it all the time. That's the biggest issue I have with the media. Is the media is supposed to question. The media is supposed to question not just things that they want to be right or wrong. They should question everything. And in the case of this, there were so many oddities in this story. First of all, like, if they were led to believe, like, I think they wanted us to believe that this was some isolated racist incident that was perpetrated by some white bigot racist. I think that's what, people want. Well, if that were the case, just break down the story and you'll see that using common sense would tell you that there's no way that a white racist dude inside NASCAR would run the risk, given the heightened racial stuff and the Confederate flag with cameras everywhere. Like, do you really believe that some white guy would have rolled up in there and, like, I just can't handle this black guy in my sport, and goes in there and just leaves a noose? Do you really buy that? Do you really even think that's possible? The answer was no. But the media didn't even take the time. Like, I'm listening to some shitty radio show last night on my way home, and one of the guys was trying to, on the sports radio show, was trying to, like, justify, like, why this was the case. Like, why they didn't ask more questions in the sports media. And the guy, from what I recall, said, well, what were we supposed to do when we hear there's a noose in the garage? I don't know. Try to figure it out. Maybe say, ask questions. Maybe ask yourself, hey, how is it even possible? Like, at least ask this. You have to figure out motive, right? And means and motive. What motive would there be for some bigoted random white guy in NASCAR to do that? Their career would be over if they got caught. If they were caught, their career would be done. So is it really worth the risk? And also, there isn't a huge opportunity because there's a list of people that can get into the guy's garage. And let's not forget, there's a lot of this that doesn't make any sense. A lot of it. And of course, the media will just ignore it, and that's fine. Somebody asked a second ago, aren't you the media? No, I'm a dude that does a podcast, and I have a Twitch channel. If you want to call me the media, you can call me the media if you want. I don't view myself as the media. I am certainly not a mainstream media person. I am twitching. I am a Twitch person, and I am a podcast person. This is one of the many issues we have in this day and age. People are so quick to play a victim card instead of looking for the answer or solution to problems. There's so much race baiting going on, especially around election. I don't disagree with that. And there are a lot of, and I do think that it becomes like basically what you got out of Bubba Wallace being a victim is there was power in being a victim. Victimhood gives you a certain power that you don't have if you're not a victim. There's a certain sympathy that comes with it, too, if you're a victim versus not a victim, too. Once people realize that he wasn't a victim, he's no good to them anymore. At all. What good is Bubba Wallace to CNN if he's not a victim? As it is, he's just a black guy that races cars. And he was not the victim of a hate crime. He wasn't even close to the victim of a hate crime. NASCAR has now been talked about 3 days too many, and that will end. Don't worry. Maybe one more race will happen, but I think pretty much after that, no one's going to care. Gama's in the chat, and he says, you would be the perfect addition to Outkick. I'm going to get my agent on that, actually. You know, I've been talking to John Cassio in Florida, and my agent has been in contact with Joe Kraus. And who knows? I think there's a possibility that I'm not going to eliminate this possibility that we could end up down in Florida with, doing a radio show and keeping the podcast going because I want to get the podcast on even bigger platforms. I think the podcast is very good. I like the freedom of the podcast. I like the sponsors of the podcast. I can say what I want. No one's going to be offended or judged based on what we say. So we'll see. But I know that my agent talked with Joe Kraus today. She said she liked him. And the more I see, and listen, if somebody from a big market radio station called, I'd probably say, I would certainly listen. I'd be interested in listening and see what they have. But I also know that if I went down to Florida, I could do a show on Casio station that would be available for everybody that listens to this show. And I would have the freedom to do what I want, much like I have the freedom to do what I want on 97.5 in Houston. The difference would be that I would actually be paid to work at this radio station down in Florida versus not getting paid to work at 97.5. So, we'll see which direction it goes. You and Casio seem like natural radio partners. Well, I don't know that Casio and I would be partners in that situation because he's a program director. So I don't know what kind of time he'd have. He runs 2 radio stations, so we'll see. Let's see. By the way, almost miss you on 94.1 in the afternoon. This is Travis you were replying to on Twitter. Keep up the great viewpoints and topics. Well, thanks, friend. Appreciate you. New shirt. What, this shirt? No, I have a bunch of shirts like this. And I appreciate whoever just posted. I think it was Jim Stud, maybe, that posted a link to the Just Nation shirts. If you haven't gotten your Just Nation shirts, have at it, kiddos. Appreciate it. Let's see. Sports guy with almost all sports shut down that will entertain. Solid dude. Well, that's what I try to do, man. And as I was saying, you start looking at I need to find, I like the idea of going down and working with Casio. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take another job if something better came up, and he knows that. But there's a freedom in going down to Florida. It's a great place to live, get a swimming pool. Hell, I'd stay on 97.5 here if I could. But, as you know, there's no money in that. I can't, I can't get paid. I mean, there's no getting paid to do it. So it becomes a lot tougher. But I've enjoyed that. I enjoy that, I enjoy that we have the opportunity to have fun. I enjoy that I have the opportunity to say what's on my mind, and I have support. So ask Clay Travis to get you a weekend job on Fox Sports Radio. I don't think he has that authority. If the Stros win this year, it's 2 tainted championships in people's eyes. Probably, Gamma. I'm not going to take whoever wins the World Series champion seriously, no matter who it is, and nobody will take them seriously other than the fans of the team that wins it. When do next ratings come out? Are ratings made available to the public? It's always hard to find. They don't really, they're not really online, not the specific ones that matter. I have no idea which direction the 97.5 show ratings are going. It's not really a huge deal to me. It'd be cool if they were high. I don't know that they'll be high. There's a bunch of factors in that, but I have no idea which way they're trending. It's not like it used to be at 790 where I had all sorts of access to all this information. I don't have it, so I couldn't tell you. I know they come out here in a couple weeks. I don't anticipate having gigantic numbers because the station does not have gigantic numbers, at least in the last ratings. They did, and they had very low numbers, which is very rare for this station, but it's true. So I don't know. It'd be great if we came in and bumped their ratings up a little bit. It'd be great, but I'm not holding my breath on that, and since this is a part-time thing, yes, I'd be proud if the numbers went up, and yes, I'd thump my chest if the ratings went up, but I'm also not going to sit here and act like I anticipate it, and I'm not going to be crushed if they're not up. Let's see here. 60-game season means the ace gets at most 12 starts. This stuff just means very little to me, this baseball season. The players have turned me off. The owners have turned me off. And, hey, listen, if the Astros win it, they win it, good for them. Cardinals win it, good for them. Phillies win it, good for them. My question, and I asked this on the show, today, is moving forward, what does any of this mean for all these franchises? Like today we heard Jim Crane talking about how they need to get people in the stands so they can make up some of the money they're losing. If they're losing money, and you can assume there's hundreds of $1 million potentially being lost during all of this, what does that mean for free agency next year? What does that mean for bringing players back? I wouldn't be shocked if the Astros go into they let Verlander go. They let some of these other guys go. Obviously, guys like Springer and Reddick and some other guys that are making some money. Yuli Gurriel, they're going to be free agents anyway, so they let them hit the bricks, certainly. If you're not making money from ticket sales, and this is not a market where media revenue is huge, right? This isn't New York, this isn't Chicago, this isn't LA, this isn't Philadelphia, Boston, where the rights fees for local television and radio give you a big chunk of change. This isn't a town like that. There's not a ton of money being generated by local media for the baseball team. So I'm curious, I don't know if this is going to be just kind of a like kind of a last hurrah for the Astros. I certainly don't think it's the beginning of a dynasty. The question is, are we in the middle of a dynasty potentially, or is this the last hurrah? And after this happens, you're going to lose your manager again in the next year or two. Dusty's here basically to try to get that elusive World Series ring, right? So he's here for a year or two. You only have Bregman and Altuve locked up long term. They're probably not going to spend the money that it may take to get to keep guys like Correa. So I could see a situation where the Astros in a couple of years are kind of like, or next year, I could see a situation next year where it's kind of like, yeah, we're not making any money. We're losing money, because you heard it today from Jim Crane. He said they need people in the stands to buy tickets, to buy merch, to buy beer, to try to offset some of the loss. I mean, they're going to lose a whole shitload of games, home games, and they're going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars potentially. And it's not that easy for a dude to just roll out and go, well, next year we're going to be big spenders. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not buying that this is going to be a long-term great franchise. This could kind of be that last go at it. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? It gives off that vibe. Before we get into anything else, I do have to tell you about some of the folks that make the podcast go. I will have to tell you about Concrete Chemistry. Let's see here. Where you at, Concrete Chemistry? Show your face, Concrete Chemistry. There you are. Concrete Chemistry. They're in the business of concrete. And not just any concrete. They're in the business of fancy, shiny concrete like you see in that picture right there. Like our boy Agama, who's in the chat right now, he knows what I'm talking about because he's gotten in touch with Concrete Chemistry, our buddy Eric. Like I understand the pictures that you see are for like warehouses and retail and commercial areas and airplane hangars and, I get it. But you can also get this kind of concrete put in your home. We were talking about that with Gama the other day. And you can get in touch with the folks at Concrete Chemistry for their design and installation of resinous and polished concrete floor systems for commercial, industrial, and institutional application. And we were supposed to talk with Eric on Saturday, but I guess we never got to him or he never called during the Saturday night booze and game party. But he's a good dude, and as you can see, they do great work. And due to COVID, they're offering virtual job site walks and virtual project estimates by Google Duo. So make sure you check all that out. Their website is concretechemistry.com. Give them a buzz, 713-497-4701. 713-497-4701. Again, Eric Daly is the guy you're looking for if you like these floors you see here. It is Concrete Chemistry. The website is concretechemistry.com. Check them out. Now, on to the next one. Prime One Consulting. That's right. That's Prime, the numeral one Consulting, and that is our friend Jason. There we go. Prime One Consulting. What do they do at Prime One Consulting? They check your home for crappy air quality. In particular, they check your home for mold, which my home has. And I know this to be at the fact because Jason has checked my home for mold. And he says, dude, your air quality is terrible. Now, you might be asking yourself, who should have a mold inspection done? Well, buying or selling a property, if you're moving into a rental property, if you have frequent sinus headaches or sinus issues, if you have immune-compromising illnesses, or you've had recent water damage to your property, you should have a mold inspection done. You need to check for mold. You need to make sure that your house isn't just littered with this filthy garbage that just hampers your ability to breathe and really impacts your quality of life in a really negative way. So get in touch with them over at Prime One Consulting. That's Prime, the numeral one Consulting. They'll come in, do the whole test for you, check your air quality, compare it to the air quality outside. Then they'll give you ideas about what you can do moving forward. But they do a great job. Jason's a wonderful dude. It's Prime One Consulting. And get this, if you mention the Josh Ennis Show, you'll get $50 off the test. So really, it's $50 off for healthy, good, breathable air. And sometimes all you need is the air that you breathe. So 281-545-5005, 281-545-5005. Prime, the numeral one Consulting.com is the website. $50 off if you mention Yes. Departed Kiss Nation. Finally about Mac Knight Safety Solutions. And if Jilly were here, she would tell you that they are in the business of safety. To tell you, but Jilly is not here today because Luther doesn't feel like climbing the stairs. So, Mac Knight Safety Solutions. They are a safety staffing and consulting company located in Rosenberg, which is here in the Houston area, but they will work nationwide and international jobs. When companies have a temporary need for safety oversight on projects, they use the folks at Mac Knight Safety Solutions versus hiring their own people. They work in industrial and commercial construction, oil field and manufacturing facilities, and they also conduct facility audits for regulatory compliance and assist their clients with developing and maintaining comprehensive safety programs. They do it all, baby. They do it all. They keep your job site safe. They keep you protected from, guys on the job getting hurt, which could impact you, impact your bottom line. They are there to make sure dudes don't fall off, things get rolled over by like a steamroller. I think that's the best way of defining what they do over at Mac Knight Safety Solutions. They're in the Houston area. They've got 25 years of combined experience. They've been in business since 2017. They're awesome dudes. Mac Knight Safety Solutions. 832-363-1295. 832-363-1295 or MacKnightSafety.com. Let me make sure I get the right angle here. There's the right camera angle because Jilly is not here today. Oh, look, our friend maybe lesbian Rachel is here who says, haven't seen you in a while. You've lost so much weight. You look great, buddy. Do I look great? Yeah, I'm a hot piece of ass. Speaking of losing a lot of weight, we started watching this Mama June from Not to Hot. Like, evidently she's into, like, crack and shit now. So we've watched a couple of episodes, and that's what we're going to watch more of tonight. Did you listen to the Bomani-Will Cain debate on ESPN Radio? I did not. Doesn't sound like something that would really be up my alley. What's your honest take on the Phillies roster last year? Are Diddy and Wheeler big upgrades? Not particularly. I don't think that their lineup was very good last year, and I don't think it's particularly great this year. And it's hard to say because it's a damn 60-game season. It's hard for me to get excited about breaking down a baseball game or a baseball season for 60 games. It doesn't do anything for me. So let's see. Oh, Clyde is here. Hello, Clyde. Good to hear from you. That's our friend Clyde over in Philadelphia. He of board opping for Intercom, which, by the way, is now going to pay all their employees, right? Let's see here. I'm reading some of my tweets here from people. This says, you're butthurt because you got tossed out of Philly for being a mental oaf when it came to respect. You'll be doing overnights within 6 years. Friend, if I were doing overnights, that'd be a step in the right direction from where I am right now. But that doesn't even make sense. You got tossed out of Philly for being a mental oaf when it came to respect. That doesn't even make sense. That's the most Philly response to anything ever. You got tossed out of Philly for being a mental oaf when it came to respect. So I was a mental oaf when it came to respect. Are you saying that I didn't respect Philadelphia people? That's another cocky thing that, like, Philly, and I also see it in Houston. I'm going to mute this person. Goodbye, friend. Like, people think they got you thrown out of their city as if they're the reason you were there anyway, right? Like, we kicked you out. Not really. Spike kicked me out because of a picture of Al Jolson, which is, really stupid. Especially when you see the shit that people are getting away with now, that people are just crying, and I'm so sorry I did this. But I don't really know who the hell what even that meant. But okay, friend, whatever you're into, dude. I worked overnights till they automated it. Well, good for you, Clyde. I used to work overnights as a young pup as well. I did that. Here's the thing, man. Like, there's going to be fewer and fewer radio jobs. And that's fine, because, I've been talking with Casio, and there's some other things possible. I think the podcast is going to be the future of what I do. I like getting to say whatever the hell I want to say. I like building this thing. I like the relationship I have with the audience. Like, there's a real negative side of coming into a radio station every day being petrified to say what's on your mind because you can get fired. And it's their sandbox. So it's their sandbox, and if they don't like, if they don't want me to go on the air and say that Bubba Wallace is full of shit, well, guess what? Then I don't get to go on the air and say Bubba Wallace is full of shit. Well, I'd prefer to tell you what I think. You know? Let's be honest. You're excited for baseball. I'm not. I, honest to God, could not give two shits about the baseball season. I don't know why you would think I'm interested. I've sat here and told you for weeks and weeks that I hate the owners and I hate the players. They've ruined my love of baseball. I don't care about a 60-game season. It means very little. Baseball, it just, this particular season of baseball in particular means nothing to me. Either you're a Philly guy or you're not. It's like politics. No nuance allowed, which, by the way, on the show today, we discovered that I am a libertarian. So there. I'm part of the biggest group of losers ever, the people who get 1.2% of the vote, and their vote literally means dick. I am a libertarian. Yay me. Let's see. Rich was talking shit on Bubba all day. You're talking about Zioli? He should. The thing is, he has to because he's on a conservative radio station. If I were to go on WIP in Philadelphia today and be like, you know who's a real dipshit? This asshole Bubba Wallace. I'd be like, dude, you can't say Bubba Wallace a dipshit, dude. It's news, bro. And it'd be a whole clusterfuck of a thing. Let's see. Josh is more excited for Carrie Champion and Jamel Hill's new show on Vice. Not excited about that either, but I'd probably be more excited about that than I am about baseball. They're putting a man on second if the game goes to extra innings. They should. Why not? Try something different in it. Some of these extra inning games get really long and boring and pointless. At least this is something different. Let's see. Schilling versus Bauer. Thoughts. Didn't really read any of it. I know that Schilling's pissed some people off about Wallace and other stuff, but I didn't read it. I produced for Zioli this morning. They've been getting me in more, hoping it leads to something. Well, I hope so too, Clyde. I think podcast, Twitch fits your personality. Talk what you want to talk about, and you get your money from bits and sponsors you get, so it's a hustler mentality. I don't disagree with that. Josh, you should sub for Rush. Well, if they asked me to sub for Rush, I would gladly sub for Rush. I'll have my agent call. So what happened with Meltzer? Well, Meltzer annoyed me. So Meltzer and I were out drinking on Sunday. It was me, Meltzer, and Jilly, and we were out at the bar and drinking and having a fine time. And Meltzer dropped one of these, I think you need to read more books about the issues you discuss thing on me. And I was just drunk enough at the time to really be annoyed by that. And then I got drunker and I just got angrier about that because I don't need to be lectured by Meltzer, just like I don't need to be lectured by Nick Wright or any of Nick Wright's little minions, which are the people I seem to get lectured by, the Bootsies and the Meltzers and all these people that want to lecture me about my feelings on things. The second you become the, hey, go read a book, dude, like, no, I'm not interested. And then Meltzer texted me something else last night that annoyed me. I don't even remember what it is now, but it annoyed me. It was something along. It was something about the Bubba Wallace stuff. After I was tweeting about it, and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, I'm not really interested in talking to you anymore. I'm too old. I've hit the point in my life, right? Like that. I don't need to sit here and be told I'm racist, and I don't need to be friends with people who will intimate that I'm racist or I'm uneducated or I'm an idiot." Like, life's too short to hang out with people that are going to sit here and basically intimate that you're a piece of shit. So, not really interested. Any idea when the shirts will ship? I didn't get mine yet, but they all should have shipped. What size did you order, Clyde? I would imagine most of them have already shipped. If not, I mean, I can check in with the guys at 97 Graphics here. What did he want you to read? Roots? I guess. But that's kind of what it came down to. Said I needed to be more educated on such things. So that annoyed me. Let's see. So Ben Roethlisberger's addicted to porn or was addicted to porn. How do you define porn addiction? Is porn addiction the number of minutes or hours you watch porn? Or is it how much you masturbate or how many times you masturbate a day? Or is masturbation its own addiction? Like, do you combine the two? Because the only reason to watch porn is to masturbate to porn, right? Like, the idea is not to sit there and go, like, I'm just going to watch this because I like the scenes in it, right? So the question becomes, is it jerking off? Is that the addiction, or is it the actual porn? How about that? Think about that. And how many times a day do you have to watch porn for it to be addiction? Or how many times do you have to masturbate in a day for it to be considered an addiction? Like, what if you only masturbate like 3 times a week? Is that an addiction? Like, if you're now, basically, to me, an addiction means it's impacting your quality of life and it's costing you relationships and other things, right? So if that's the case, and think about this. During this Rona, a lot of people have been trapped in their houses for a long time, right? I mean, if you just masturbate out of boredom, is that the same thing as an addiction? If you're masturbating in your home and watching porn because you couldn't leave the house and you had nothing else to do we consider that to be an addiction? Or do we consider that to be you're just bored? Matt Grove says he's a twice-a-week guy himself. Well, good for you. Twice a week. Nothing wrong with that. Twice a week. I'm no expert, but I think a porn addict isn't so much how much porn you watch, but rather how much it interferes with you being productive member of society. It's a sliding scale, according to maybe lesbian Rachel, who watches tons and tons of pornography. I don't know that it impacts her daily life, but she watches amazing amounts of pornography. Let's see. I think addiction suggests it has control over you versus you being the one in control. I get that. But I'm curious, like, how does Ben Roethlisberger, like, how did they diagnose that Ben Roethlisberger had a porn addiction? And wouldn't you rather he have a porn addiction than a banging random chicks in a Georgia bathroom addiction, which I think is something he also had at one point? Let's see. Total shirts sold. How many sponsors are you up to on 97.5? We have like one sponsor on 97.5. Between 97.5 and Twitch, do you make anywhere near what you used to make? No, but that's a hard number to hit because that was a shitload of money. I don't know that I'll ever make that. That was a fortunate time in life that I don't think will ever come back around again unless I become Joe Rogan. I guess it's up to you guys. If this thing blows up, then maybe I get back to that point in life. Let's see. Do you think Meltzer really was trying to offend you? I hope you all squash that beef. No, he probably wasn't trying to offend me, but he pissed me off. I've just gotten to a point that I'm out at a bar. I'm drinking beer. I'm having a good time. I don't need to get you need to read a book lecture. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. That doesn't interest me. So I don't want to hang out with people who are going to tell me that I need to read more. I'm out here drinking beer, having a damn good time. You know, I don't really need that. It's not that I dislike Meltzer. It's when I go out and I'm drinking beer, you want to argue about dopey sports stuff, you want to argue about whatever, fine. I'm all for it, right? But I don't really need you arguing with me about, you're like politics, or even if you want to talk politics, I'm fine with that. What I don't really need and what I'm not really entertained by is having someone tell me, like, lecture me and tell me that I need to read. Josh, how is Jim Mudd doing? He's doing fine. Would it be worse if you get the you need Jesus talk? No, I mean, they both suck. Let's see. My guess is, hold on, let me see if I can get a better view of some of these comments here. I need to get a new TV in here because I'm having to like squint to see all of this on my computer screen now because I think my TV burned out. This little TV I was using to watch the comments. Let's see. Meltzer sounds like he needs you. Oh, I don't think he does. He'll live without me. Let's see here. Jilly was telling me that about this Jay Cutler hunting on let's see here. What would that be on Instagram? Let me see here. Let me check my mail on this. She was supposed to send it to me. Why the hell is my email not working? There we go. Come on, you shitty internet. Let's go. Is it good or bad that I like lesbian porn? Fine question, Trevor from the 203. I have a preference for porn with a penis in it. I'm not really big on the two chicks. Now, if it was in person and I was watching it, I'd be fine. Like if there was two chicks in front of me, that'd be exciting. But I do need penis in my pornography. Let's see. My wife pulled that shit on me today, tried to tell me I need to watch something on Netflix to understand racism better. Well, then I'm glad that she found something she enjoyed. I'm just past the point in my life that I need to be lectured and told what to watch and what I need to see and blah, 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 blah. I don't really need that. Let's see here. Let's see if this Jay Cutler video is good. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's go. Jay. What's Jay up to? Look at Jay. Hold on. Where you at, Cutler? Where's the audio on this damn thing, Jay Cutler? I need to hear you, friend. I know I got this damn thing potted up here. There we go.
See if it's coyote, bobcat, I don't know, raccoon.
Hold on. Let's hear it from the beginning. Talk to me, Jay.
Okay, here's the deal. First story. It's a big one. We've got a chicken serial killer on the loose. We've lost quite a few. Tonight we're gonna set up a trail camera. See if it's coyote, bobcat.
I'm amazed that this broad didn't love this guy. He's amazing.
Sure.
Fuck you, Christian Cavallari.
That's enough. These ladies are a little edgy right now, so we've got to figure this out. There is one other possibility. Could be an inside job. Thelma over there, while she looks nice and sweet, is a savage with loose morals. Thelma, hey cat, kitty cat. I hope you don't show up on camera tonight. So
basically, what we're getting here is.
All right, here's the deal. My chicken guy Blake dropped me off some more chickens. Some pretty reds, a few browns. The old crew's up here.
I want to see what ended up happening here, Jay. I don't want to, ruin everything, but I want to see if you catch the bastard that was messing with the chickens.
See what happens with the weather. Hopefully it clears out, and we can get back to protecting our hens.
Let me tell you about this Kristen Cavallari, and I'll tell you why she's a bitch. This guy is a treasure. And you said that you didn't want to be with him because he was too worried about the kids and his chickens and his farm. Well, you know what? Move off to your Hollywood and try to be the celebrity that you're not, because nobody cares about you. That's why your show got canceled. Jay was the only thing worth a shit. Let's see here. We all need to be more like Cutler. Cutler's my guy. I'm a strong supporter of Jay Cutler. I am Team Jay Cutler, and I will always be Team Jay Cutler. He is an angel sent from heaven, and I love him. I don't understand this Cavallari. Like, I think the problem with this Cavallari is she fancies herself a far greater celebrity than she actually is. She's clearly not a huge celebrity. She wants to be a celebrity. And you know what? Jay Cutler says, I don't care about being a celebrity. You know what I am? I'm Jay Cutler, and I enjoy my life, and I got my brains beat in playing football all damn, my whole life. I want to go enjoy my life and be out on my farm with my chickens and stuff and have a good time. You're trying to force me on this dopey reality show because you're still caught up in trying to be a celebrity when everybody knows you're not. I support Jay Cutler, damn it. He's my guy. Boy. And I got to go eat dinner here in a second. See how Luther's doing. He hadn't felt well today, so, hopefully he starts feeling better. Might have twisted his knee or his elbow, like his leg or something, so he's been kind of tired and laying around. So hopefully, things get better. And anyway, so we will say goodbye to the podcast audience. We say goodbye to. What's for dinner? Well, we're going to have some chicken and some mashed potatoes, I believe. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be delicious victuals, and I can't wait. And we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, Jilly will be back tomorrow.